April 10th, 2018, Town of Rockport Board of Selectmen's meeting. We had an executive session prior to this. If everyone could please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. My microphones are turned up. First on the agenda, public agenda this evening, we have public comment period. Monica?
Monica Lawton, 11 Story Street. First of all, in the aftermath of town meeting, I just wanted to thank you all for your support of our famous sewer article. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. I'm sure that effort will get underway in due time. But more importantly, I wanted to just say a few words about the surprise you encountered today as you came in. The painting behind you finally
Awesome,
is
isn't it?
Beautiful.
Isn't it great?
on the wall.
Beautiful.
It took a bit of time for the town art committee to figure out how to hang the thing on the wall, and after a lot of going around the block a few times, Caleb Ruley of Hershey Frame, we hired him to
Oh,
do
great.
the
Caleb's
job.
great.
And of course, he did it right. It took about 4 hours today with some able help from the Department of Public Works. The thing is very, very heavy. There are almost no studs in that wall, so it posed a bit of a challenge to figure out how to get the screws in there securely. But I personally think Caleb did a terrific job, and it just seems to fit the space perfectly.
That's a new frame that Caleb framed it?
No,
No, it's the
actually,
same frame?
that is the frame. This painting was actually recessed in the wall at the bank.
Right.
Attached in the most secure fashion you can imagine, and the frame just was tacked onto the wall around the painting. We didn't know if the frame would work, but as it turned out, it did. It required some repair, and Caleb
The frame is
repaired it.
beautiful.
He did a very nice job.
Yeah.
And there is a bracket all across the top which can hold several hundred pounds, which is what was required for this. It is heavy. But
It's not canvas, right? What is it
it is
painted on? Oh, it
It's
is?
about 5/8 inch plywood as a
Okay.
backing, and that had to be custom made because you can't find a 10-foot piece of plywood.
Yeah.
And it is oil on canvas that was applied on top of the plywood.
Wow.
Spectacular.
It's spectacular.
It
Yeah.
really is.
And I-
Remind me, what year was it painted?
Well, we don't know the exact year, but it would have been the 1930s.
30, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see this what look like seams down to each side of it. He painted it to look like it was 3 separate images.
I love
we
that.
thought that it was.
Yeah.
But those are just painted seams. We thought it was going to be easy to take down in 3 pieces, but
Not so
we
much.
found out it was a 10-foot.
No, it looks great. Well,
he
thank
just
you.
painted them on the surface.
Yes, they're painted on
Yeah.
the surface.
Because it does look like 3 panels.
Right, well, it's
Interesting.
3 different images. You've got your tool factory or whatever in the fishing industry, and so there's a little bit of everything going on there. I sent an email to Mitch the Late today, which I'm sure he hasn't had a chance to even look at yet, but we'll want to perhaps set a date for an official unveiling. There was some talk of putting something over it until there's an official. No. The selectmen are going to want to see
So
this.
they're going to want to
right
see this
away.
tonight. We want to show this off.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're going to work out a night when we can invite representatives from
Yes.
the bank.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll work on that, and then
Great.
we'll do some nice PR for
Great.
everyone at
Well,
that
thank you
time.
so much. And
You're very
and
welcome.
I received an email from Karen today
Yes.
about another piece that we're trying to locate, and so
Yeah,
I
a piece
thanked
of
her also
granite
for this.
sculpture that's been at the barn for 4 years, I guess, and now that
Yeah.
Millbrook Meadow is coming together, it might
Yeah,
be
so
a
it might be.
suitable location.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's a beautiful piece as well. It's just enormous and heavy.
Yes.
But it's
Yeah.
beautiful. So thank you all for your hard work on this.
You're
This is
very
Thank
exciting.
you. Yeah, that's great.
Thanks.
Mitch, have we increased our insurance to cover this?
We have added that to the policy.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Nice.
Okay, Toby?
Toby Arsenian, 95 Granite Street. As of the town meeting, it has been a year since the previous annual town meeting when we authorized the creation of the Rockport Affordable Housing Trust. And so far as I know, nothing substantial has been done to get it, up and going in motion. I realize that Linda Sanders was not well before she suddenly left, and now Mitch Vieira is trying to do the work of two people. I don't blame either of them. I think you should, consider telling us what you intend to do and when. I think that a year is long enough to let it sit idle, and that you should aim to get the trust up and running before summer. Along the lines of affordable housing, when I got a list of all of the individual items that go into the Community Development Department budget from the Finance Committee, the initial list, there was $2,500 for a housing needs assessment. Whether that made it into the final list that we approved at the town meeting, I don't know. I think it most unfortunate that with a department budget that includes a great many disparate items that aren't in any way related other than the fact that they're town of Rockport, that we can't afford the paper and ink to list them as line items for the town meeting. The Finance Committee says that they want the voters to be as well informed as possible, and how are you to be informed if you have no idea what you're voting for? So I hope you'll tell me, I'll phrase it as a question, what do you intend to do and when about the Affordable Housing Trust, and is the $2,500 in the community development budget for the housing assessment? Could I have a response?
I don't have a response this evening to that.
I see. May I go on to another subject?
You have just under a minute left.
Yes. Your decision to spring that amendment on the alcohol, petition article at the last moment, it flies directly in the face of what was voted a year before, 48 hours notice for amendments for the town meeting, and you should be setting an example. That's not enforceable, but that was the 11th hour and then some, and very complicated to boot. Most unfair. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Evening, Bob Parody.
Hi, Bob. Hi, that was me.
Oh,
Hi, Bob.
I was over here. I'm a fireman in the town of Rockport.
Yep, you were here
Certified 1 and
you were
2. I
here a
was
few weeks ago.
Actually, it was 2 months ago, on the February 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard back from you. People can review the tape. I guess one of my biggest gripes. then was
Okay,
you didn't get back to me.
I don't mean to interrupt you, and I will let you speak in a minute, but I believe that your captain, Steve Abel, reached out directly to you because I thought the best way to deal with some of your concerns was to meet in person with your captain and the town administrator and myself. But Steve says that you're not interested in meeting in person to work through some of this stuff.
Well, I got a call at 3:30 this afternoon. A little late for me to change plans. There was an offer, I guess, through you,
Right.
perhaps, or Mitch.
Yep, to meet on
To
Thursday.
meet on Thursday morning. But
Right, but I would be happy to schedule another time. It wasn't a make or break for Thursday, it was just the first date that Mitch and I had available. I'm more than happy to meet another time, but the offer was just to meet in person as opposed to like this and kind of hash out some of them, but Steve said that you weren't interested in meeting in person.
Well, that might have got twisted in the
Okay.
relay of information.
Okay, so if you would be willing to do that, I personally think that at this point, that's the best course of action.
Yeah, but see, but, I hate to say it, Mitch, and I apologize. I think I've given you more than enough leeway to
Okay, there isn't,
It's
we're not
just-
gonna get in a back and forth here. What I've.
Where do you go when you don't get any,
Right,
any
what
work
I've
here?
what I've offered, which I think would by far be the best course of action is
Well,
for.
it'll be in secret and all of that, I suppose.
There's nothing secret. If you want, you could invite someone else. Excuse me, did you say something? Okay. There's nothing in secret, but I feel that it would be best for you and Steve, because Steve's is your direct supervisor, and Mitch and I to sit down, because I know that a few of these issues are years old. Mitch says that they've been closed out. You said that they're not, so I said,
Well, I never get a reply. I mean,
but there have been replies given. I honestly think
Yeah,
that the
you
best
told me you
course
didn't
is
have
to sit
time.
down and meet on this stuff.
But see, that's just it. And above all, Sarah, or not above all, but don't forget, I've asked Mitch a dozen times, show me where, since he became HR director, that he has some authority over non-union personnel. I've asked for it. I don't find it.
Okay,
The
so-
Personnel Board is required to hold hearings and things when you change the Personnel Board regulation.
Okay, so I'm happy to go
It
over
didn't
all of
happen.
this.
It could very well
but-
be that all of his work that he's been doing since HR, at least related to non-union folks handling grievances, could be null and void, because if he wasn't appointed appropriately vis-à-vis changing the Personnel Board regulations with public hearings and so forth,
Okay,
and then it
so-
goes to you folks for feedback, back to the person.
So the
If that
best-
didn't happen, like I haven't been able to find any minutes on it.
Okay, so the best place
Yeah.
to hash this out is if the four of us sat down. And Steve completely agrees. I met with Steve. I talked through a lot of this with him. He agrees that a meeting with the four of us would by far be the best.
Well, I've
route
been
to
asking
take.
for a meeting since what, 2012?
Well,
Then
Then
what you
now's
ask for
your
is
chance.
what you have.
right.
You
Then
you have.
now's
6
your
years
chance.
later, now that it's
Okay,
all
so
come
do you-
public,
Now's the chance.
now you're
If
all
you
getting
want the
nervous.
meeting
Yeah.
was scheduled for Thursday, as Sarah said.
Yeah.
It's no
I
problem.
can't do Thursday.
Okay, so hang on.
Doctor.
As Sarah said, you can reschedule. What day works for you?
Well, I have to go and look at my schedule as well.
Okay,
but-
so what I would prefer, because there's like all of this, there's talk online about this, and honestly, it's gotten a little bit ridiculous. I'm
Well,
happy to take
ridiculous,
care
but
of
when
this
that fire
once and
truck
for
shows
all.
up with no water, and when you have officers
Okay.
who faint at the sight of blood, and
Okay,
can't put
I'm
on an
happy to take care of
SCBA.
this once and for all.
Yes, Dawn, don't shake
Okay.
your head, no, it's true.
Okay, please
But
stop.
Sarah,
Please
These are
stop.
serious issues.
Please stop. If you are interested in meeting, then what I would suggest is you speak with Steve tomorrow and get back to Mitch, get back to Steve with a date that would work by the end of the day tomorrow. Steve has my cell phone number. We will work it out. But please get in touch with Steve with a date by the end of tomorrow.
Every safety issue I've raised has been the
Okay.
truth.
then
Okay.
bring them up at that meeting,
And
and
fact.
they'll be happy to be addressed at that
And
meeting.
we're
Get a
just
move
gonna-
on.
Yep.
And blow it off
Okay,
again?
we have to move
Thank
on
you.
now, but please get in touch with
One
Steve
other quick question, please.
by
for you.
tomorrow. Yep.
I noticed you bow your head at the Pledge of Allegiance. Is that a statement of some kind?
Okay,
Me?
that's,
That's just out of line.
Me
Well, if
personally?
you're doing it as chairman, and you're representing us as a board here, I find offense to bowing your head at the flag. We're supposed to stand at attention and face the flag.
Okay, I'm not making
In
any
honor of the
statement.
veterans and our freedom.
Okay, I'm not making any statement whatsoever. I apologize
just
if you
bothers
feel,
me.
if you feel that way.
I
I'm
went
not
through all
making
the-
any statement.
Don't know why. I've never seen anybody do it, other than the knee at the football game.
Okay.
That bothers me.
That's
I'm
out of
not,
line.
I'm not making any statement.
let's go.
But
right.
thank you
Move
for
on.
coming, and please
I'll
be in
get
touch
back
with
to,
Steve tomorrow. I look forward to meeting with you. Thanks. Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else for public comment? Okay, great, moving on. Approval of minutes of March 15th, 2018. I apologize, I have to leave in about 10 minutes. Vice Chair Campbell is going to take over. I have to go to a trumpet concert up at the school that I can't miss. Because I listen to it so much in my living room that I need to hear it with the other instruments. Is there a motion?
Yes, I move that the selectmen approve the minutes of March 15th, 2018.
So move. Oh, second.
Motion has been made and seconded. I believe Mina and I have to abstain. We weren't at this one, okay. Any further comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Approval of minutes of March 27th, 2018.
Madam Chair, I move that the selectmen approve the minutes of March 27, 2018.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Mr. Murphy was not there, I Yeah, true.
Yes, I was not, so I need to abstain.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Next, we have selectmen and town administrator updates and liaison reports. Anyone?
I'll jump in.
Well, I would
Did-
just like to say, I was at
Go right
town
ahead.
meeting on Saturday.
You were? I was gonna ask, how was your weekend? That's where I was going with this.
Well, let me just briefly thank Pat and Mitch. Excellent job. I think like the logistics, like I thought the gym worked out great. People had room to spread out and eat. It wasn't
warm.
extremely. It was a little long, but
Yeah.
it wasn't bad. It wasn't nearly as bad as last year.
No, not at all.
So, thanks. Go ahead.
No, let Denise go. Go ahead.
I think
That
she
was
was
it.
kidding.
Oh, that was it? Okay, all right, good. Obviously, Saturday was an eye-opening experience, and the people in town have spoken, and what they've said we'll abide by. That's the way it goes. I believe that it was not in the best interest of the town. However, we have no choice but to abide. This board goes out of its way to do what it can, in spite of what people think, to provide everybody with every opportunity to speak, to provide answers to questions ad nauseum, and to do everything we can to make sure that the business conducted by this board is open, transparent for all to see. There are no backroom deals. I would not be party to any of that, and I referenced the alcohol question that was posed earlier. None of this stuff was appropriate, in my opinion, in the way it was presented, framed in the context of the Board of Selectmen. However, after that meeting, there were some comments online that called out people in my family personally. Now, let me be perfectly clear on this. I'm a public official. I'm fair game. I put myself out there, and anybody that has something to say about me, please do it. As I said at Saturday's meeting, when the question of health insurance came up, I raised my hand and I said where I stood on that. And for people to imply things other than that was completely wrong. And when it brought in my family, that crossed the line. And it brought others on this board some hard time as well. And it's not
I
right.
agree. I'm with you. My
It's
family as
not
well.
right. And exactly. So direct them to the board, and I think anybody on this board, when asked a direct question, will give a direct answer. It should be no other way. And for anybody to imply otherwise would be counterproductive. That said, what we want as a board, and I think I can speak for everybody here, somebody can jump in if they have a problem. We want cooperation. We want to work together with the people in this town. We want to find solutions, long-term solutions for this town, to make this town the best that it can possibly be, to make everybody prosper, whether it's a private resident or a business. We want everybody to prosper, and we want to do it in a cooperative environment, not in a confrontational environment. So with that said, the only other thing I have, Madam Chair, is to read the warrants,
Great.
and we'll go from
Can
there.
I just jump in? Because
Sure.
I wasn't planning on speaking on this issue, but I will say, after 12 years in elective office, 8 here and then 4 in the school committee, that was one of the most disheartening town meetings I've been to. And it's not just because of the health insurance / stipend and so forth, just the disrespect for us, for the Board of Selectmen and other committee members that were up there was appalling. And, my wife was upset about it. Dawn talks about social media, and my kids read that stuff, and
Right.
To be slammed on because we're working. We only have the best interest of this town. That's why we do this. And my wife said, "Why do you put yourself out like that? Why?" And I said, "Because I love Rockport and I love the town and I love what I love being a selectman. I really do, and I think the 5 of us or the 4 other of us do as well. But I don't know. Maybe it's the nature of the national scene. People can make fun of each other and the distrust and so forth. But that's not Rockport. It was not the way I grew up here. And people, the great majority of the people, I think, are appreciative. But there's a small minority that was downright mean. And it's going to take me a little while to get over this.
We made a big deal out of Rockport being a welcoming city, a welcoming town. Is it? Is it a welcoming town? Is this what we do to the people who are on this board by way of besmirchment to stand here and do that? We're here to represent everybody. We want what's best for everybody in this town. So,
Yeah, it's,
That's it.
it's interesting. I think we all spend so much time trying to recruit other volunteers.
Constantly.
And people, you know, I'm at a birthday party and I'm trying to get somebody to run for something or, you know, be on a committee. And I know, I mean, Denise, you and I talked yesterday about somebody you're trying to get to, and we spend so much time and effort besides actually doing the job and trying to recruit other people. And I think after a day like Saturday that is just like kind of a blow. And, you know, in some respects, I'm like, you know what, it's part of the job. Like, you know, you take it, you move on. You know, you shake it off, you move on. But after Saturday, I kind of have to rethink how to get people to volunteer more again, because I have been called by like well over a dozen people in the past 2 days who
Yeah.
who
Me
were
too.
just mortified, like
Right.
to kind of be a part of a town where, you know, where those kinds of comments and stuff are not only welcome, but supported. And so now I think we have to kind of build back up again. And we have to get the people who are, you know, invested and care about the town like we do, and get them motivated again to be involved. And so it's just going to take some more hard work.
right, and I think more damage was done on Saturday to that effort
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
goodwill was created to employ people to come in to do that, to help them.
So we have to now
Right.
work harder.
I
Work
agree.
harder. That's what I told my kids. Because my kids, we kept seeing people all weekend, and people are like, "Oh my goodness, that was a rough day."
Mm-hmm.
And my kids were like, "How bad was it?" And I was like, "We just have more work to do. We just have to work harder." But it's,
Right.
you know, it's hard to.
But all of
sometimes.
us will put that work in.
We will. We will.
All
We
of us will.
received an email from someone right after the meeting and said, I imagine that felt demoralizing. And I thought to myself, that's the exact word,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
really didn't feel
Yeah.
appreciative.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
and I
don't
know
look
that
for
everyone-
adulation. We don't look
No,
for
no.
congratulations. We don't look for
Yeah.
any of that. I don't
Yeah.
want it.
No, and I know everyone cares about the town and everyone thinks about things differently, but I've, you know, people actually give me a lot of grief for that. I probably say this too much, but all that I ask for is people to be respectful of
Right.
other people.
Right.
And,
That's right.
You know, I hope that people continue to do that. So,
Well said.
okay.
Good job.
Let's move on.
If
Move
I
on.
can I just read?
Oh, please do.
If I-
Oh, then I have to go. I'll let you read that and then we'll switch chairs. Sorry, I didn't realize how late it
Well, I'm
got.
glad you're staying for this, because this is great.
Okay.
So thank you. Right? Selectman Campbell signed the payroll warrant number 39 totaling $543,882.51, and expense warrant number 39 totaling $457,179.11 on 3/2018. Selectman Campbell signed the payroll warrant number 40 totaling $112,876,089, and expense warrant number 40 totaling $222,049.08 on 4/3/18. Selectman Campbell signed the payroll warrant number 41 totaling $642,532.74, and expense warrant 41 totaling $1,076,314.64 on 4/10/18. Selectman Campbell signed payroll warrant 0 totaling 0, and expense warrant 41A totaling $91.51 on 4/10/18.
Thank you.
And that's
Great.
it. You're welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else for, okay. I will, briefly tell the board, actually, I'll wait till our next meeting when I have more time. But I do want to be here for the ballot question, so we'll do that first and then maybe move on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We good for
Go ahead.
action
That's
list?
my motion, I believe.
I just think it's important that we all vote.
Yeah, that's good.
Would you like a motion?
Please.
I move that the board approve and transmit to the town clerk the ballot question on the recreational marijuana ban approved at the annual town meeting of April 7th, 2018.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. I know Pat is here. Do you have any comments on that,
No, I
Pat?
think town council wanted me here because this was the 35th day.
Yes.
This is the last day.
Great.
Get that question to me.
She's officially receiving it.
I am receiving it.
Perfect. So
Is
received.
that in there to be signed? Or is she
No.
receiving
No,
it
it's just
by
that
us,
she's
our vote?
he-
You're
directly
you
getting
got
it now, so.
Okay, as soon as we vote, you've got it. Perfect, okay. Sounds great. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. You got it.
You're official.
Great. Want to take a break for a second? I'll let you, I don't know if you're
Sure,
gonna.
that's okay.
Just slide
Okay,
right
great.
over.
Thank you very much. I'll talk to
Thanks.
everybody
Enjoy the
later.
concert. I
Thank
went
you.
last
All
night.
right, Sarah, see you soon. Is this your phone?
It's my phone, my coffee.
All right. You guys want to keep going? I'm sure I'll just keep.
Yep, keep going.
Right? Good, okay. Okay, let's move on to the appointment of Richard Lorgan as a member of the Millbrook Meadow Committee.
Yes. I move that the board appoint Richard Lorgan as a member of the Millbrook Meadow Committee for a term to expire on June 30th, 2019.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
We interviewed him
Last
last
meeting.
meeting, right? Yeah.
Yep, that's good. So, again, he's not here and doesn't have to be, but this will be just getting him on there, and that's great. I know I was at a meeting that he was at, and he did a great job, and I think he'll be a great asset to that committee. So that's great. I'm glad people are willing to step up like that. So that's great. Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0 with Sarah out. Moving right along, accept the resignation of Mary Edgerton as permanent reserve police officer.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that the board accept the resignation of Mary Edgerton as a permanent intermittent reserve police officer effective immediately.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. I wish Mary well and thank her for her time that she gave to this town. It's valuable, and especially in the capacity of a police officer.
Absolutely.
Mary was one of my former students in
I
Manchester.
remember that.
And she did, when seniors, the 6 weeks before graduation, they do this program called SCORE, where they go out on these internships, and it's really to get the kids out of the building, because they have enormous senioritis. Anyways, she did her SCORE project at the Rockport Police Station, and she stayed on, and, eventually, so that's, we're talking 10, 12 years ago,
Wow.
so.
Right, that's good. Okay, motion's been made, seconded, and any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Mary, thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to the approval of transfer of $10,000 to insurance and restitution account.
Mr. Chair, the resignation of Mr. King.
Yes.
Did I skip that?
Yep, I can do that.
Oh, I'm sorry, yep, go
I
ahead.
move that the board
apologize.
accept the resignation of James King from the Personnel Board effective immediately.
Motion's been made
Second?
and seconded.
Take turns.
That's it. Any further discussion on this one? Once again, the same gratitude goes out to anybody who serves. Thank you very, very much. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0. Sorry, I skipped that one. Now can I do it? The approval of transfer of $10,000 to insurance and restitution account.
I move that the selectmen approve a transfer of $10,000 to the insurance and restitution account as referenced in Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53, from the Board of Selectmen revenue account for the purpose of purchasing and replacing an old, I said almost old oak tree, a oak tree for Granite Pier. You have to be a certain age to remember that one.
There you go.
Yeah. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. This is, we can,
Yes, Mr. Chair, this takes the place of the warrant article that was on Saturday. We found with accounting and council that this was the route we needed to utilize.
right,
So yes, this makes sure we can buy a new tree.
perfect. We love,
And Don, if I may?
Please.
Just explain.
Please.
An individual actually removed an oak tree that was on public property, and this was the settlement that we reached with that individual for unlawfully removing that tree. And this will be a tree nowhere near as large, but intended to replace that tree.
someday it will be.
Someday it will be.
Someday it will be. That's great. Okay. Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Let's go with the approval of Rockport Exchange Community Events for 2018.
Yes, I move that the board approve the Rockport Exchange request to hold Motif Number 1 Day on Saturday, May 19th, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., with cleanup from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., and allow the closure of the road between the Blue Lobster Grill Restaurant and Dock Square Island, beginning at 8 a.m. on Friday, May 18th, until the end of the festival. closure of T Wharf to all traffic other than commercial fishermen and festival vendors on Saturday, May 19th, and reserve the use of the annex parking lot for vendor and musician parking with a valid parking pass issued by the police department.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded, and we're going to utilize, obviously, our notification system for this, get this out to everybody. We have a few things going on, so.
Correct. Yes, we will put it through our downtown list.
Okay, that's great. Okay, I mean, it's pretty much the same as last year. Anybody else have anything else to add?
I don't know.
No, I just wanted to be here to answer questions and.
Hi, Sarah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
We did, Mr. Chair, if I may, we did switch it up a bit. I had a conversation with Sarah about some parking adjustments that the chief and Sergeant Hurst brought forward. So we're trying out using the annex as the vendor parking this time instead of some of the downtown spaces. So hopefully that works out well. We'll find out.
Yeah, that's not too much of a walk. That seems like a good compromise.
Yeah, and that can be a nice sectioned off area that we can dedicate
Sure,
for that.
Sure. You good, everything's good with that?
That's great.
Perfect, good, see? Reasonable minds can come to good solutions. That's great. It's good to hear. Well, that's great. Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0. There we go. Let's move on to the approval of closure of T Wharf for Motor for One Day Race on May 19, 2018. Did I skip one?
Yeah,
we
we
have
have a couple
two
of
more.
sub-motions
Oh, we gotta go on these.
in
I'm
the
sorry.
community events.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's move on to,
It's kind of part of.
yeah, it's part of the whole thing. There's really no heading on it, but let's
Right,
keep going. Go ahead.
exactly.
Take that one.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that the selectmen approve Rockport Exchange's request to hold the Rockport Farmers Market on successive Saturdays from June 23rd to October 13th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Harvey Park, and allow the use of 4 parking spaces in front of Harvey Park on Mount Pleasant Street for temporary 15-minute market parking for patrons to make quick stops at the market, and the use of the annex parking lot for vendor parking with a valid pass issued by the police department.
Motion been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. So this is, I think we found a good purpose for the annex here then, huh?
I think so.
Huh? Good. All right, that's great. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I would only issue a request for volunteers. I know that the farmer's market is a lot of work. It's done by all volunteers, and it gets to be a lot every Saturday to get that market set up and then struck down again. So anyone out there who might be listening, if there's any way that you could help the Rockport Exchange with the farmer's market, I know the whole town would appreciate it.
Once again, a plea for volunteers. That seems to be a recurring theme tonight. That's great. All right, great. You've heard the motion been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Got that one? 4-0.
Want me to do this one?
Please do.
I move that the board approve Rockport Exchange request to hold Harvest Fest on Saturday, October 13th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with the cleanup from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and allow the closure of a road between the Blue Lobster Grill Restaurant and Dock Square Island on beginning at 8 a.m. on Friday, October 12th until the end of the festival. Closure of T Wharf to all traffic other than commercial, fishermen, and festival vendors on Saturday, October 13th, and reserve the use of the annex parking lot for festival vendors and performers with a valid pass issued by the police department.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion on this one? Want to put another call for volunteers?
Yeah,
Denise?
volunteers.
Right, we need them, so that's good. That's
always
great.
need-
And good weather.
In
good
good weather,
weather.
that's right.
I know
That's
for
right.
the Harvest Fest and for Motif Number One Day, we're always looking for volunteers to help with trash and trash patrol. So if that's your thing, this is your chance.
Speaking of which, speaking of trash, we have Earth Day coming up pretty soon, don't we?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so that's another good one, so
Yep.
that's great. So that's good to hear on that one. All right, it's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 4-0. Thank you. And that covers the 3 under H6. So let's move on to the approval of the closure of T Wharf for Motor One Day Race on May 19th, 2018, from 8:30 a.m. to 9:45 a.m.
I move that the Board of Selectmen approve the use of a portion of T Wharf from 8:30 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. for Motif Number 1 5K road race on the 19th of May, 2018.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, so we're good, and was this, there were two races in conflict,
We've addressed that.
that's all set?
We've instructed them that the other group will not be carrying it out on that day.
They won't, okay, perfect.
Excellent.
So we're in good shape on that one.
We are.
And once again, I just reiterate that we let everybody know what's going on, and they will.
Absolutely.
The fishermen especially, so they know what's going on. So
Yes.
that's great. Motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 4-0. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. All right. Let's go with the approval of EMS Day on May 20th, 2018.
Yes, I move that the board grant permission to the Rockport Ambulance Department to hold their annual Emergency Service Day on Sunday, May 20th, 2018, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on T Wharf.
Motion been made. Is there a second?
Second?
Any further discussion? No, look, this is a great one. This is kind of one of my favorites, I gotta tell you. It's, seeing all the equipment down there and everything that goes on and, with everything set up, it's really a great thing to see, and it shows the depth of the services that we offer here in town, and those who volunteer for them, so that's great. Thank you. Motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 4-0. Thank you.
That was an odd eye.
Yeah, that was a little
Aye.
drawn out.
Aye. Oh, I was reading while I said aye. Sorry. Aye.
Alrighty.
Let's move on to permission for Rockport Rotary to hold the annual reading of the Declaration of Independence at Dock Square on July 4th, 2018.
Yes, I move that the Board of Selectmen grant permission for the Rockport Rotary to hold the annual reading of the Declaration of Independence at Dock Square on July 4th, 2018, at 10 a.m.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. I know the Rotary, and Mina, I know you're with Rotary.
Yes.
This is I think they went to Awesome Rockport to try to get some money for
They
this.
did.
Unfortunately, it didn't prevail, but I hope they bring that up again.
I know. It's such a great event every year.
Yeah, I got
Very
on.
patriotic.
Is Matt's the one who does?
Oh,
it,
yeah,
doesn't
Matt, Pastor,
That's great. That's
Matt.
fantastic. Pastor Matt.
Pastor Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So,
AKA Ben Franklin, I guess.
right, there you go. There you go. And I think it's important for this from the civic side of things, because things like this tend to get lost sometimes. This is great. So that's awesome. Thank you to the.
Should I abstain
Rotary.
because I'm a member of Rotary? You think that's best? or-
There's no monetary value to
Yeah.
it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
think
right,
we're
great.
good. All right, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0. Let's move on to the grant agreement with Action Inc.
I move that the Selectmen approve and sign a grant agreement with Action Inc. of 180 Main Street, Gloucester, Massachusetts, for its homeless shelter and benefit support services, housing assistance, and other safety net services for Rockport Rockport residents in the amount of $4,000 for FY 2018.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded, and that's, so when we grant these, wasn't there some confusion the last time about getting this done? I mean, how do we make
So
sure? that-
we've addressed that. Deb has taken this on as her personal crusade to get these
Good.
straightened out. So these are the FY18 grants.
Okay.
She spent several months tracking them down with people. They go out and then sometimes they don't come back for several months.
Oh.
They're now all back for 18. This puts all of them out, so we are 100% caught
Great.
up.
Good. And speaking of Debbie, I want to publicly thank her for what she
Absolutely.
does. 'Cause Debbie doesn't always get the recognition that she
she does
deserves.
not.
And I think Debbie deserves a big attagirl.
Absolutely. She's the traffic control that keeps us
Yeah.
moving in the office.
Right.
So really, we appreciate everything that she does.
That's
And
great.
that was not an easy town meeting, and she was.
Yeah.
No, she was
She
a
was-
trooper.
No, she was
a
on the
trooper.
spotlight a
Yeah.
little
She,
bit.
yeah, she did.
Yeah.
But
She
she
kept her
Pressure.
composure.
She did.
she handled it well, so good for her. That's great. Okay, motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let's go to the grant agreement with Open Door, Inc.
I move that the Selectmen approve and sign a grant agreement with the Open Door and Company of Gloucester, Massachusetts, for funding for a food pantry with access to Rockport residents in the amount of $5,000 for FY 2018.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
No.
Nope, all self-explanatory on these. That's great, and thank you to Open Door. They take care of a lot of great people, so thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Nope, that was delayed reaction. Opposed, nay. Should I wait on this one?
No.
Motion carries 4-0.
Oy, multitasking.
right? Let's move on to the grant agreement with HAWC.
I will take that one.
Thank you.
I move that the selectmen approve and sign a grant agreement with HAWC of 27 Congress Street, Salem, Massachusetts, for legal advice, safety planning, and access to a 24-hour hotline for Rockport residents in the amount of $3,000 for fiscal year 18.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion here?
HAWC, which is that's what it stands for, is Help for Abused Women and Their Children. They do outstanding work. We used to do a lot of fundraising for them at Christmas time, before we, at Manchester Essex, before we started bringing the toys to Pathways for Children. But they do terrific work.
Absolutely.
And again, a profound thanks from everybody to them for what they do. Thank you. Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 4-0. Those are nice, easy votes you can take, and you feel good about those.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Okay, let's go with the grant agreement with Senior Care.
I move that the selectmen approve and sign a grant agreement with Senior Care, Inc. of 5 Blackburn Circle, Gloucester, Massachusetts, for its in-home and elder care safety net programs for Rockport residents in the amount of $3,100 for fiscal year 2018.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Nope. Another good one. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0. Gee, Sarah should have stayed. She would have been,
I know.
she should have hung out. Let's go with the approval outdoor display permit renewals
Oops.
for.
The memorial bench.
Oh, see, I'm checking ahead of myself there, and I shouldn't have. Sorry. Approval of memorial bench at Front Beach.
I move that the board approve the request of Katrina Art for a memorial bench to replace an existing bench in disrepair at Front Beach, as reviewed by the Director of Public Works and Beautification Committee, and have her mother's name inscribed on the memorial bench wall plaque in Town Hall.
Excellent. Motion's been,
Second.
there we go. A little delayed reaction there. Sid, you gotta check
Not
some
on my game
synapses up here tonight. We gotta see what's going on.
They're not firing off.
Sid's retired though, right? That's all right. We're good. Okay, great. So we have the picture of the bench. Everything looks good on it. It's, and this is gonna go on the side where the railing kind of came off. Is that right?
Yes, it's replacing one that's in really poor shape, and this is one of the first ones actually in a long time that's come through the correct process. So the name is not on the back. They are aware and they want it to be on the plaque right outside of the board's office upstairs. So this is a win-win for everybody. We get a new bench, and folks get recognized in the building. So it's a huge plus.
Speaking of
Awesome.
Front Beach, any idea of the timetable down there?
So they've been shoring up the Long Beach wall. They're nearly
Yeah.
done with that, and my understanding is that's next in line, I believe, to get that taken care of. Certainly before it gets into season.
Yeah, it's just a bit dangerous, yeah.
Yes.
I was really surprised at how much benches cost.
Yeah.
I was shocked. It's like
Yeah.
$9,000.
Yeah, 9504.
Yeah,
Certain types for certain areas
Yeah.
are extremely expensive.
yeah, shocking.
It's a wonderful donation.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
really is.
Very thankful and
Yeah.
great memory here.
Right there, and I want to say thank you to the DPW because for what they've been dealing with since the storms, it's been absolutely harrowing what's happened to this town in a lot of places. So they deserve a big thank you for the folks that do it every day. So that's that. All right, great. You've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We're in. We got a bench. Now we'll go to the approval outdoor display permit renewals for Wicked Peacock, 17 Dock Square, Strut Boutique, 2 Bearskin Neck, Solstice 1, Tuna Wharf. Is there a motion?
I move that the Board of Selectmen approve and sign outdoor display permit renewals for Wicked Peacock, 17 Dock Square, Strut Bouquet, at 2 Bearskin Neck, and Solstice at 1 Tuna Wharf, all for the 2018 season.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Further discussion? Anybody? We're
No?
good? Perfect. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0.
I do have a question about outdoor displays. There's one vendor on Bearskin Neck who repeatedly violated the outdoor display requirements last year. Are you aware of that vendor?
I am, yes. We actually have 3 that are frequent
Okay.
flyers, and we are partnering the building inspector up with the police department
Okay.
for this season, so we have many sets of eyes that will be
Okay.
going down there, so we expect enhanced enforcement because of that.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about this, I don't know if you were on the board, we talked about it, at the last time to really do this.
Oh,
And plus, we still need to get the signage stuff done and all of that.
It's on the.
Perfect, perfect, so that's great. Okay, good. So that's good. So you've heard the motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries, great. Let's move on to the approval, and I guess that's why Sid's here. The approval of Strait Smith Island Boat Ramp Construction Project Contract with Great Eastern Marine in the amount of $394,000. Is there a motion?
Oh, yes. I move that the Board of Selectmen approve and sign a contract with Great Eastern Marine, Inc., 65 Essex Avenue, Gloucester, Massachusetts, for the Straitsmith Island Boat Ramp Project number 2018-003 in the amount of $394,000, subject to receipt of required bonds and certification of funds.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Wedmore, as he likes to call himself. Would you like to speak on this and kind of tell us what's going on?
Well, there's money in the kitty. It's been, I think Paul donated $200,000 a couple weeks ago. That was from the Thatcher Island Association. There is state money in the Economic Seaport Fund for about $102,000, and there's CPC funds for about $88,000 left. So you guys have access to that, and that's enough to meet the estimated budget for the contract. Then, we've worked with the engineer, hopefully we get started on that in late May, and have it up and running by the end of July or early August. So
Fantastic.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Wow.
And again, thank you to everybody on the Thatcher Island Committee who does this stuff. You guys are, as I said, some people, that we move papers around, but you guys swing hammers, and that's a big deal. So thank
And
you.
raise money.
Raise money, yeah, exactly,
Really good
right?
at that.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
Sid,
great.
how long do you anticipate that to take? How long do you think the ramp will take to
End of
build?
July.
the estimate is about 2 months.
2 months, that quick, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to watch it from the street, right? Will you be able to? No, probably.
Well, you'll be able to see it from
Top of your-
Mountains Way.
Yeah.
Actually, where it goes just before, in that little cove, just before it goes out to Gap Head Road.
Yeah.
That's a good site to keep an eye, because you're directly across from where the ramp site will
Yeah.
be.
Great. I look forward to watching that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, motion
Thanks,
been-
Sid.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sid.
Thanks, Sid.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0. Let's move on to the approval, and I'm not even gonna, Mitch, come on, give me this word.
I would suggest that you refer to it as the common VIX license.
There you go. Thank you very kindly.
That's the easy route. There's too many
We're
back
live
and
on
forths on
TV. I
it.
want to make sure I do this right. So, but I'll go with that. Thank you. Let's move to the approval of the common VIX license, Roy Moore Lobster Company.
Do I have to say the whole word in the motion?
You do not.
Better you
do
than
not.
me.
I think it's Fiddler?
Some call it victualers, some call it fiddlers. It's,
Fiddler.
yeah.
Tomato, tomato.
Someone who plays a
Right?
guitar.
Exactly.
I move that the selectmen approve and sign a common victualer's license for Roy Moore Lobster Company of 39 Bearskin Neck to expire on December 31st, 2018.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Well done, Select Person Donlin. Very good. Any further discussion? We're good? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And it carries 4-0. Let's move to the nomination of Inspector of Animals, Ally Thompson and Leslie Whalen.
I move that the board nominate Ally Thompson and Leslie Whalen as inspectors of the animals pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 129, Section 15 and 16.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
What are these, like farm animals?
So they carry out inspections for farm animals.
Okay.
They also handle all quarantines, so if there's any kind of dog bite or rabies
I
issue,
see.
they are the ones that carry that out.
Okay.
Perfect, perfect. And those were vacant positions, or these?
This is an annual nomination. The state veterinarian is the appointing authority, but it's annual. So they've
Perfect.
had this for a couple of years.
Perfect, that's great, and thank you to them. You've heard the motion, it's been seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4-0.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, for
Please.
this next item, I would ask that you skip item 19 at this time.
Okay.
The financial obligations have not been met for this property.
Okay.
So I ask that you not issue the lease at this time.
Very good, thank you. Thank you for that, Mitch. But we're good on this, on the next one, correct?
Correct.
Let's go with 55 Long Beach lease transfer to Richard Gerstein.
Yes, I move the Board of Selectmen approve and sign a lease for 55 Long Beach with Richard Gerstein of 28 Trillium Way, Amherst, Mass. to reflect a transfer of ownership.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Nope. Seems pretty straightforward. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion carries. Other business and announcements. Anybody have anything?
Mr. Chairman, I do have just one item. I left on the board's table this evening a copy of the workshop meetings list that Linda had previously sent out in January. There are several items that that do need to be added to it, but I just wanted to put this in front of you so that you were aware of it and that I will plan for the next meeting to look to get the board on the same page and get a couple of workshops scheduled. I know that the summer's going to be quite busy, so I'd like to see if we can try to book out a few months now.
That'd be great, yeah.
But there were a few add-ons from here. The plowing private roads needs to be added on, and a few others, probably one or two to come off as well. But
around for a while.
just for the board to be aware of what's in the background here.
And then this is in addition to the task forces, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so we've got
Correct.
a lot.
There is a lot of work coming up, and I figured if we don't book now,
Yeah,
we're going to
right.
be piled up in June and July.
Good, good. And we're not booking anything tonight, obviously. We
No,
need
this is
Saturday.
just for you to be aware of,
This is
and
just
there's
right.
there's a list, so I just
Kind
want
of
you to know.
placeholder. The other thing is tomorrow night that everybody should know is there's a Complete Streets workshop that's going to happen at the community center, I believe, from 6 to 8 p.m. And the Complete Streets is money that's available to us to do things around town, handicap access ramps, curbing, things like that. And it's a great way. It's going to be the place when we set priorities and what will be put forward. So it'd be great for everybody to attend that can and have your voice heard. You want to have something to say about how the community is formed, this is a great place to do that. So that's it. I have nothing else. Anybody else? We're good? The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So, second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.